Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. This is Chetan Deep from California, and today we are going to do the passage under consideration is Rehraas Sahib passage number 4. So let me first read out the passage, and then uh, even the presenter, it's me today. So first I'll read out the passage, and then go through briefly what the passage means to me, what I understood, and then we can have a discussion around that. राग गुजरी महला चौथा हर के जन सतगुर सतपुरखा बिनो करो गुर पास हम कीरे किरम सतगुर सरनाई कर दया नाम प्रगास मेरे मीत गुरदेव मोको राम नाम प्रगास गुरमत नाम मेरा प्राण सखाई हर कीरत हमरी रहरास रहाओ हर जन के वड भाग वडेरे जिन हर हर सरदा हर प्यास हर हर नाम मिले तृप्तासै मिल संगत गुण प्रगास जिन हर 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 रस नाम न पाया ते भागहीन जम पास जो सतगुर शरण संगत नहीं आए त्रिग जीवे त्रिग जी बास जिन हरजन सतगुर संगत पाई तिन तुर मस्तक लिखिया लिखास धन धन सत संगत जित हर रस पाया मिल जन नानक नाम प्रगास. I'll go through the passage briefly to share my thoughts, what I understood. So let's start by looking at the Rahao di Pankti, since Rahao of the Shabad. It tells us the central idea. What's the message for the Shabad? Mere meet Gurdev, Moko Ram Naam Pargas, Gurmat Naam Mera Pran Sakhai, Har Kirat Amri Rehraas, Rahao. So I feel this Shabad is deeply personal. That Guru Ram Das Ji is sharing his state of mind, his state of consciousness here, what he is truly feeling deep down inside. And he is calling that the Gur or Guru as mere meet, as my friend. And he's saying in this Rahau verse that the Naam, Gurmat Naam, it's a support of my life. I cannot live without this, and hence he is asking, give me that Naam, Moko Ram Naam Pragas, that Ram, that the one that is everywhere. Give me the gift of that Naam that is everywhere. And he's saying that I cannot live without that Naam. And as we discussed last week in the previous Shabad, Akha Jiva Visre Mar Jao. So he's saying I'll literally die without this Naam. I can only live if I am if I get this Naam, only then I can live. And this Naam is my support of it's my support system. It's my life. And he's saying further, Har Kirat Hamri Rehraas. Rehraas, as we know, it's the Radhi Punji, so it's the currency that I deal with. It's the thing that I. So he's saying like Har the Kirti, Hari Kirti is my Rehras. That's all I have. I don't have any other money or currency or anything else. All I have is Hari Kirti. And this reminds me of this Shabad, Man de Ram liya hai mol, right? So that's the currency that he has here, the Hari Kirti, and in exchange he's asking for the Naam. And then I was asking myself, what is Hari Kirti basically, right? So again, from Gurbani we know, Aap gavaye seva kare ta kich paye maan. So that's basically the Hari Kirti. That's the living or walking in the hukam, or to let go of the self. Aap gavaye seva kare. That's the Hari Kirti. And he's saying that's all I have. And now please give me that gift. It seems like here he's saying that the consciousness has reached a certain threshold, has reached that dar, of the gur. And as we discussed in the previous Shabad, so dar keha, so kar keha, right? So he has reached that dar and he's asking from the gur, as we say, gurdwara, right? Gurdware hoy suji paisi. So to reach that gur, the dwar, and asking that, please now I'm here, give me that gift of naam. So basically in this Shabad, the way I take it is it's like an ardas, and the rest of the Shabad basically revolves around this idea of Ardas that gives me that gift of now. Uh, what else did I get from this Shabad? If we go from the beginning, Har ke jan Satgur Satpurkha, how bino karo gurpas. So this Shabad again comes twice in Guru Granth Sahib. One, I think, on Panna 10 and again on Panna 492. And the only difference I found was in the first line. Someone can correct me later if this is incorrect. The difference is Harke Jan Sat Gur Sat Purkha Beno Karo Gur Pas is on page 10, and then Harke Jan Sat Gur Sat Purkha How Beno Karo Gur Pas. So there is one word difference between the two Shabads. So again, he's doing the Benti, doing the Ardas to the Gur, to the Satgur, that give me that Naam. Hum kire kiram Satgur Sarnai, kar daya Naam Pragas. So again, as we have discussed this multiple times, that this is not something, uh, the Daat of the Naam, that's something you can take. It's like you have to ask, and we will get this with Kirpa or Daya. Harjan kevad bhag vadere jin har har sarda har pyas. So again, as we discussed in the last Shabad, the word pook came. So correspondingly, the word pyas is here in this Shabad, but the idea remains the same. Har har naam mile tripta se mil sangat gun parga. So this is a new word that in the Shabad this occurs, the word sangat, and this sangat could mean the way we are doing sangat right now, or as we do in the Gurdwara, as we sit, we collaborate, we talk to each other, we share. But what I understood, like, and he clarifies in the Shabad further that he is saying Sat Sangat or Satgur Sangat. So the Sangat of the Satgur or the Sangat of that Sat or Sach. जिन हर रस नाम न पाया ते भागहीन जम पास जो सतगुर शरण संगत नहीं आए त्रिग जीवे त्रिग जीवास. He's saying if you don't do the sangat of Satgur, or if you do not get that clarity from the Naam, then basically your life is not worth living. जिन हरजन सतगुर संगत पाई तिन तुर मस्तक लिखिया लिखास. So those who have got the sangat of the Satgur, who have done the Hari Kirti, they have basically lived to their full potential. तन तन सत संगत जित हर रस पाया मिल मिल जन नानक नाम पर गा. So this is another difference. In the Sodar, the word is mil jan nanak naam par gas, but in the other Shabad it's mil nanak naam par gas. So again he's saying that I will get that naam, or the realization of the naam will happen when I do the sangat of Satgur. So for me, this whole Shabad is basically to remain in the Sangat of Satgur and to ask for Naam. But then there is a deeper question that I've been pondering about, and that is, what is Satgur for me? Right? I mean, and we have gone over this multiple times. So the Satgur is our Guru Granth Sahib, right? We stand in front of Guru Granth Sahib and we do our best, we ask for Naam. Or we go to the Gurdwara and be in the Sangat and ask for Naam, right? Or engage in Kirtan, Katha, or collaborate with each other. But for me, this whole Shabad is basically an internal realization. It's a realization of the consciousness. And so, what I think or what I feel is the Satgur is basically an internal phenomena rather than an external phenomena. And also, it is a universal phenomena. Satgur is not tied to Sikhs or Guru Granth Sahib. It is universal, and Satgur has the key to Naam. It's the gatekeeper, or the he has the key, the magic key to Naam, and on a gateway or a door that will need to open with the Kirpa of Satgur. So then the question then becomes, how do I reach there, or how do I accompany the Satgur at all times? And that's what the Shabad is asking us to do. Jin Harjan Satgur Sangat Pai, right? So what I have seen, or what I have learned is, like, when my Satgur, or when my Surt, or my Dhyan, right, my awareness, it moves inwards and it tries to align with. So Satgur means Sat is truth or authentic, or you can say always or permanent. And Gur is basically that medium that unlocks the Naam, that has the key to Naam, or the Gur is the medium that contains a wisdom or the realization. So for me, to move my Surt inwards to this present moment awareness that I can tune into, and like anybody or everybody can do it. So that's why I call it a universal phenomena, that when I take my surat inside and I'm not attaching to external things, and I am concentrating like dhyan, and I'm focusing on this present moment, and that medium has the key to the naam. And if I lose myself to it, aap gawai seva kare, takish my paiman, and then this magic happens with the day of Satkur. So that's all I had to share for this Shabad. Ravinder Virji, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Please take it forward.
Thank you, Vaji Khalsa, Vaji Fatehji. Um, let's continue with the questions that Chetandeep has put forward. I think we have a new participant here, Ramanpreet Singh. So shall we start with you, Ramanpreet? What we do is we go around and offer any observations or any thoughts that we might have on what has just been, said. And since you're here, at least as far as I can tell, for the first time, let's start with you, Ramanpreet.
Sure, Virji. Wagyu Khalsa, Wagyu Ki Fateh.
Fateh.
And I think this is the first time I'm just listening to this Coach Gurbani and trying to learn. And I am kind of like inspired to know more about it. I'm very you know just starting up to understand how Gurbani is, what Gurbani is about. Okay, and from my understanding, the Chetandeep, what he raised, he has his questions. Definitely, he explained it from his side, and what I had the observation um, from my side, the true Guru, the Satguru. Okay, he has the different names. Other we can call it with the different names, right? But what that pankti or that verse of Rehraasa means with the true Guru, I don't know. Like maybe is it still the same where you can reference the entire Guru Granth Sahib as a true Guru, or is it different? I have that question as well.
Okay. So why don't we take that question forward? Let me move on to Ranaviji. Ranaviji, do you want to take it from here?
Uh, Maybe I can take it from here. Uh, yes, one thing I missed, Chetan Devji, to see you are explaining very nicely, and I had to step out briefly, and I missed, but I'm going to read it, listen to the tape, because you were talking about a very subtle point about Satgur and Gur is a door to achieve Nam, something like that you were talking about. A few things came to my mind. One thing, Chetan Devi, I'm not going to throw it back to you, and I heard this many times. I sit back and reflect on that too often. We always say that let's take it inside. We have to do internal search and all that. Taking it inside. Could you expand on that? What we really mean? Uh, Sit back and think. That's what we are talking about. or anything more than that, because that question often comes and everybody has their own perspective on that. So when we say we should take it inside, the basically, and I just, although people might have different understanding, and I just want you to reflect on that, your understanding. And the second thing, when I was reading the Shabad earlier today, in the very first line, Har ke jan Satguru Satpurkha Bino Karo Gurpas. In that, Guru Ramdas ji is referring to Satguru, to Satpurkha Har ke jan. That is who is connected with her, who is basically a servant of her, a Karprak. But then when we go to the line number 4 or 5, and immediately after the how, the meaning of that two lines, Harjan Kevad Pagvadere. Now, here, what I understood either from you or maybe I think my own understanding, here people normally change. Here, Harjan, is this Harjan is same as what Har is being referred in the first line? Or here Harjan is the common people like us who not like we, perhaps like you, who are more dedicated towards Gurbani. So I'm not sure. So I just want you to respond to that one. Uh, so these two things have come. And the third thing which I observe here is a very beautiful thing that I just noticed here. We always talk about Naam. What is Naam? And this line, Gurmat Naam Mera Prans Khai. I think Naam is Gurmat. This is what I understood from that line. Gurmat is Guru's wisdom, which is, as you said, is Guru Granth Sahib's wisdom is the whole Naam. Perhaps that's my understanding, what I'm capturing from here. But I will throw it back and see your reflection on that, please.
Anji Chetandeep,
Uh, Hanji Virji, you put me on a tough spot, difficult question.
do you want me to recap what was
No,
said
no,
here?
I understand what you're
Okay.
asking, and I'll first maybe respond to the second question, Harke Jan. So I think Harke Jan in the first line and Harjan uh, later in the Shabad is the same thing, that he is referring to people like you or me or himself, where he's saying Harke Jan. We are asking from the Satgur Harke Jan, who has done the Seva, who has done the Hari Kirti, who have the Rehraas as the currency of life. They are asking. So I think the first line is, I understand Harkejan, like it's like throwing us off, but I think it's written in a poetic style. And the second Shabad, that the same Shabad that occurs second time, actually clarifies it and says Harke Jan Satgur Satpurkha How Bino Karo Gurpa. So I think, at least for me, I felt Harke Jan is the same throughout the Shabad. The first one that you asked, putting it inside, uh, I know what you mean. Like, it could mean a lot of different things. So I can just share what I do, or at least what I understand. So it's basically not thinking. It's not like you're taking it inside and you are thinking about something. So when I say taking it inside and being in the company of the Satgur, that is uh, taking my surat or my consciousness inside and just noticing what is going on in my body, in my mind. What is my mind doing? What is it running into? I mean, can I sit still, or rather not sit still, as in, can my mind be still without thinking any thoughts? Or even if it is thinking thoughts, but can I see that my mind is thinking something? Can I just be separate from my mind? So just separating myself, my consciousness, from my mind and all the plays of what my mind is doing, I think that's what I call it, taking it inside and not being in the grip of the mind.
Mhm. Okay, Jeet, thank you very much.
Thank you, Chetandeep. Since we're on this subject, may I offer what going inside to me means? Um, so, listening to Chetandeep, now, when we talk about going inside, the way I see it, and this is just my personal take on this business of going inside, there are certain assumptions that have to be made. And the assumption is that we are more than the physical reality that we perceive ourselves to be. In other words, we consist of both the visible and there is an invisible. Put another way, I would say that we have two minds, not just one mind. And I think even in Bani, Kabirji has referred to Inman and Unman. The individual mind here can be identified with Haume, and the universal mind can be identified with Nam, at least in my understanding. So the fact of the matter is that the worldly mind, the Haume, is focused on physical reality. We are interested in a body of information that is obviously, we know, experienced through the physical senses, and we use the analytical method, we use the primacy of language. That's how the external mind works. The larger mind that we call Nam, or I'm calling Nam, is that there is information that operates even at that level, except that it is not available to us through the physical senses. And I am of the conviction that there are other modes of knowing that are resident inside of us. For want of a better word, I would call them intuitive, instinctive knowledge. And this is the information that is processed by the mind in an open ended fashion, not in a closed fashion like our analytical mind would be. So when we talk about going inside, it is trying to access the non physical dimensions of oneself. And I also believe that there are, and that is where true self knowledge resides. So I think the whole thrust of Gurmat is to help us get to that point of where we are operating with our whole mind, not just this small little conditioned uh, consciousness or mind. So that's my sense of what going inside means. It means to stop somehow the external mind so that you can access the universal mind that is also operating underneath of you, which is a truer reality than your conditioned mind is.
Ravinderji, could it
Haji.
be could it be that Kabir Sahib is referring to unconscious mind and the conscious mind?
To me, there really isn't much of a distinction. There is, as I said, there are two minds in operation. One is the conditioned mind, which is looking outwards. And then underneath of that is a reality in which we are rooted, but may not be aware of and need to become aware of, which you can call unconscious. I called it universal because Chaitandeep referred to Satgur and Nam as being something that is universal. It's not confined just to, it is how our individual consciousness connects to the universal, and everybody has that access and connection. So the whole game of going inwards is nothing more than accessing those faculties that we don't normally use. So I sort of want to suggest that we are just operating on a very sort of on just one dimension, if you will. We are not operating on our full levers, to put it in common language. And I think that's the whole game here: is how do you actually subdue and tame the mind that's running around in order for you to access your universal mind as well, so that at the end of the day you can operate with both. So thank you for giving me the time, but I didn't mean to take away from the others. So let me see here now. I've kind of lost the screen here. Haji Kulwankar Panji, would you like to?
Yeah, Hanji, Vai Khalsa, Vai Fateh ji.
Hanji.
Hanji, I think I agree with you, and also like Chetandeep said, when we see the word Satgur, Sat, for me, Sat is like true, Gur is knowledge. So, little meaning true knowledge, which is within us. Um, and as you said, we have that universal within us. And also, I remember in Kirtan Chola Sahib, there's a line where it says, "Sab mein jot jot hai soe." So this day chanan, sab mein chanan hoye. He is within us, and which is also Nam too. When we refer thinking about Nam, uh, then I also think that, I remember one line which says, "Jeta kita tita now." That means everything he lives, he created, he lived within that. Again, um, as we know that sab mein jot jot hai soe tis de chanan, sab mein chanan hoy. So he is within us. Sat, and that's what I'm thinking. He is within us, and we have to go inward to realize that.
Hanji.
Yes.
Hanji. And I'm just simply putting it in a little simpler language. I'm saying that we have to learn to cultivate a second set of senses, if you will, if you want to call it that. But we need to cultivate another way of knowing, which is inside of us. And we, of course, call it all different things. But Ramanpreet, did you want to say something? I thought you said, did I cut you
Uh,
off?
yeah, actually, I was again
Can you
going.
hang on to your thought? Let me complete the
Sure,
round, and then
sure,
I'll
sure,
come
sure,
back again. So we've
sure.
got Gurjeet Singh Virji left here. Hanji Virji,
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਵੀਰ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ
Khalsa
ਖਾਲਸਾ
Vaji Fateh
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ
ji.
ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ I would like to go through few aspects which I think has been missed, if you don't mind. Let's start with the first one. Har ke jan satgur satpurkha bino kurong gur paas. These are four synonyms here. Har ka jan is the same as satgur, who is same as satpurk, and who is same as gur. All these four synonyms have been used for someone who is visible. Bino karo means he is in front of him. It's in the first person. It's a elaboration of Dujdi Lav. If we have remember someone, Hari Dujdi Lav Satgur Purkh Milaya Balram Ji. This Satgur Purkh is luckily in front of Chauthe Pasha, which is the Tisra Pasha. So then he repeats it that before coming into his Sangat, I was a Kira because I was only thinking, as you said, there are two minds, two bodies. I was only joined to the outer body. If we are just only thinking that we are the human beings and spirit is secondary, that's wrong. We are spiritual being, the human body is secondary. Then Kire Kiram. If you're only, Faridji has also said once, Kira, Kida Ladeo Mas. The Kida is Lad Lagya Hoya Mas de. That's the state of mind that you only think is the one body. If you think you're one body, then you are Kirakaram. But after coming into Sharan of Satgur, which is Tisra Mahalla, he asked him, Kar Daya Naam Pragas, please explain to me the Naam. What is the Naam? Which he further elaborates. Mere Meet Gurdev. See, that's the best word to explain all Mahallas. Gurdevs. They were Gurdevs. Moko Ram Naam Pragas. That I have come with my own wish, and the Naam is nothing the Ram Naam. I want a full elaboration of Ram Naam. Can you explain it to me? Because this Naam is just written and can be explained. Then Gurmat Naam Mera Pran Sakhai, and this is what is now present in Gurbani. It's all elaborated there, and that is making me my mind to go in friendship. Sakhai means when you are in association with your mind. Sakhai are the two brothers born to the same father. In Punjabi, we call Sakha Pra. It's actually Sakha. That these are the two, the outer and inner. The inner one is the Pran. That the outer wisdom is now in association with inner wisdom using the Gurmat Naam. And this is the same process, Hari Kirat, because the inner mind is Hari. There's also at one place, which has been very clearly explained, Sajan Meet Sakha Hari Bandap. You can use any of these terms for the Hari inside us. Ji Pranprabh Pranadari. But ultimately, he is sustaining my breath. My outer consciousness is not responsible for it. And I have merged into it through how? Hari Kirti. This is what Ram Naam is. To praise your mool. That's what Kabir ji says. Tu karta tu hua. Mujme raha na hu. That's Hari Kirti. Hamri Rehraas. Rehraas, I normally say reconciliation, that there was some sort of differences between inner and outer. When the outer one has understood, they have reconciliated and now they are in oneness. Then he says, Harjan ke vadpag vadere. That why should I go to a Harijan or Satgur or Satpurukh? What is the reason for going to these people? Because they had a Jin Hari Hari Shraddha. Now the Hari word has been used too. They didn't only stop at the first Hari, which is my internal mood, but they went to the second Hari who's running the whole show. Shraddha. They didn't stop, as they say, Mukta Bapadi bhi Gyani Tyagyan. There's something beyond Mukti. They are the Harijans. Shraddha means they have a, you can say, hunger for that char padarth. Hari Hari naam mila tripdase. The first stage is that my inner Hari, I can only associate myself with him if I get Harinam, the outer consciousness, then I get Santok. Tripatase, Mil Sangat. The Sangat is inside. We are not doing Sangat, we are doing a Goshti sort of thing here. Sangat will always be the outer consciousness merged with the inner. Gun, Pargas, that's how the different virtues will come in us. Because Ram Nam is telling what are the virtues of my inner consciousness? The outer consciousness must study, read it, and should accept it. And then he says, Jin Hari 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 Ras. Now he has again put another word here. Firstly, my inner Hari, then is the second Hari, then is the second Hari give a Hari Ras. Naam na paya. This is Naam Padarth. This is Janam Padarth Safal hai. Te Paghin Jampas. Until someone reaches those four Padarths, we are still in the cycle of life and death. Jampas is until you merge in the Shabad. You know, Rehraas is joining two hands. When the prasad is put by the Sachkhand in that, that is what is said here. Otherwise, we are Paghin and Jampas. Jo Satgur Sharan. But to get that Naam Padarth, we have to go into the Sharan of Satgur. Otherwise, their life is useless. Then he says the last stanza, Jin Harijan Satgur Sangat Pai. Harijan is after obtaining Satgur Sangat, Tintur Mastak Likha Likhas. He has already premeditated this in his past time. Then he lastly finishes Tan Tan Sat Sangat. This is a Sachkhand. Jini Hararas Paya. They have obtained the Hariras. And the last stage is Miljan Nanak Naam Pragas. Nanak says, now I've merged from the door, I've entered the house. Miljan, I've merged into that. From Dar to Kar. So from Trikuti he has come to the Dar. From Dar he has entered the Kar. And this Naam Pragas is different to what we learned from Satgur. This is the one which is coming from inside. So Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.
Hanji, thank you, Veerji. I can't. It's a pretty complicated explanation. I think it raises a lot of questions. But before we get to the questions, or at least I get to the questions, let me ask if someone has any questions for Gurjit Singh Veerji.
Yeah, Hanji, Vijay, he just explained that, what is Sangat. What we are doing is not Sangat. This is called discussion. So can he a little bit elaborate more on Sangat? What is Sangat means?
And Sangat means Sang Karna.
Okay.
Gur mere Sang sada hai nalle. This Sangat is only for 1 hour in a week. But Gur mere Sang sada hai nalle is I have to be in his company always. That is real Sangat.
So that doesn't mean that this is not Sangat.
This is telling us the benefits of that Sangat.
Because I would suggest that for every inner meaning, there is also an outer manifestation. So if there is an inner Sangat, well, there is an outer Sangat as well. One leads to the other.
But this one is temporarily, that one is permanent.
But you need to do this Sangat to get to that Sangat. Haji, anybody else have a question? Okay. So I have a couple of questions, if I may. So you started off by saying that this is Guru Ramdas standing in front of the third Guru and actually making a petition to him.
Mhm.
Now, we don't have the benefit of standing in front of a Satgur who is in flesh and blood. We just have the benefit of the printed or the written word.
Mhm.
How are we supposed to be able to figure out the sort of inner meanings and layers of meanings that you seem to suggest? So isn't this a bit of a disadvantage? I mean, because I can imagine sitting in front of Guru Amar Das and having a discussion with him or listening to him versus having to go through the meaning of these words.
Yeah, Guru, fourth Guru has written Lama, and he started with first Lam, where he says you are not having a person in front of you, but what he says is Har Peladi Lav, Parvirti Karm Dardaya Balram Jio, Bani Brahma Ved Dharam Drado. He says
But
if
Virji,
you,
you just said that he's petitioning Guru Amar Das.
yeah, of course
So
he
Guru
has
Amar
to.
Das is in front of him in flesh and blood or not?
लिख दें ना फर्स्ट पर्सन करूं
Yeah, so matlab hai
बिनो
ki,
करूं गुर पास
so you're saying that Guru Amar Das is present in his physical form.
because he is the one mahalla tisra. This
But
is
what
the
I'm
one
saying is
mahalla
that we
chota.
don't have that benefit.
But that's why he has written the Lama for us.
No, but how do
That
we? No, no, but I think isn't it asking too much of people to be able to understand these very subtle sort of semantics?
I think if we have the payas for it, he will do something for us. We have to only develop that hunger. The rest will be done ourselves. Because if you think from all the angles, if you fifth guru was there, when fourth guru was there, none of his two sons had that book, but only Guru Arjan had it. So it depends if you have the book. Either he will give you a Satgur through Gurbani, which he says in the Paladi Love, that these are the four different methods through which people have obtained mukti. First love is where we have to stand because we don't have a living Purana Brahm in front of us. We all are Satgurs of each other. You know one field really, I can ask for that. Someone else knows. We have the truth, but in partial fractions, which we can accumulate if we are fairly, we have a hunger for it. So you develop the hunger, he do the rest for us. Yeah,
Okay,
I
so in
think so.
other words, there's a saying in English that goes, "When the pupil is ready, the teacher will appear."
You're right.
ठीक है.
Yeah,
Any? हाँ जी.
I just want to interject what you just said, Ravindra Virji. Can I?
हाँ हाँ, please do.
Uh, I think what you are asking, Gurjeet, the question is that we don't have Guru Amar Das Ji in front of us, and how can we do that? I think that's a question you're raising. Very wonderful question you're raising. The
Because
way,
I think there is an inherent unfairness.
no. There's no. I think that
To me, there is. I'm speaking for myself.
okay. Let me complete
So
what my
either I'm
thought.
completely wrong, or I think, hey, they had the benefit of people who lived around Guru Nanak. I don't have a Guru Nanak around me. I just have his writings.
No. I think the point what I'm driving at is that these are the shabads Guru Arjan Sahib has compiled, which other gurus have written. It is Guru Gobind Singh Sahib has told us, now this is your Guru. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Guru Ramdas ji is talking to Guru Amar Das ji, and that is being recited over here. But to us now, the Guru is Guru Granth Sahib.
No, I
So
get that. I mean, I understand that.
yeah, the interpretation doesn't change, but the message what we have to take out of that, what is the key message? That is in the Rahautuk. But
No,
what Guru
I
uses is
understand that completely.
Uh,
yeah.
I would like to take both. I have a question for both Rana Virji and Gurjeet Virji. I mean, if this Shabad is basically an account, a personal account of Guru Ramdas Ji standing in front of Guru Ramdas Ji and asking for Naam, then what is the message this Shabad has for us? How can we personalize this Shabad if this is just an account of him?
Well, to me, it stays in the Rahau. Gurmat na mera prans khai. Gurmat is the Guru wisdom, is Naam. If we can understand, this is what we are trying to do. This is Sangat for me. We are sitting together and we are trying to get that wisdom. The question is, as you pointed, we have to internalize it. In Japji Sahib, we did the
No, Viji,
Sun.
the issue was that there is no Puran Brahm in front of us. And I think that is what Chetan Deep is driving at. I know it's kind of a minor point in the scheme of things, but I think this is something that we need to have some clarity on. And even
Uh,
Gurjeet Singh Virji said, we do not have a Puran Brahm in front of us, right?
but
So Hanji.
Puran Brahm, Guru Granth Sahib Ji isn't like a reference that okay, we are there, they are in front. So Guru Gobind Singh Ji gave
No,
us
but you
Guru Granth Sahib
see,
Ji
if
as a, for all the answers. So is it a
the
Puran
reason I
Brahm?
bring that up is I bring this up is that we all think of Guru Granth Sahib as our guru, which is fine. But then again, there is no consistency in the understanding. We struggle. We do not have a teacher that we can go to. I'm just raising this for the sake of a discussion. Have we lost out something in not having somebody personally present?
No,
How do you
certainly
say that?
not.
How can you say that?
No,
How can you say that?
no,
Because in all other no, hear me out. Hear me out. When you go to learn something, any discipline, you usually have a coach, a teacher who gets you going. What makes us think that in the sphere of the spirit, we don't need such a teacher? How can we be that sure? How can we be that certain that we do not need a personal teacher? But we do need a teacher to teach us tennis, we need a teacher to teach us physics, mathematics, what have you. But in the realm of the inner life or spirituality, we're okay on our own. That's what I'm trying to ask.
Can I add something here?
yeah.
Haji, please, please do.
Uh,
I'm playing devil's advocate, but anyway.
so, um, so let me take it a step further, right? I mean, we are saying like there are two things here. The physical Guru Amardas being in front of Guru Ramdas, and we don't have that advantage. And second, we are saying we have Guru Granth Sahib, right? What I want to say is that this Sabbath should apply, or the message of this Sabbath should apply equally to each and every human on this earth. Why we are being limiting this Sabbath or the message to only six? So what is that Satgur or the Gur for everybody else except six? Why it's not universal? Why
Yeah,
the message?
that's an extremely good point because when you say that you're standing of Guru in front of Guru Ramdas, I mean Ramardas, you're basically historicizing it. And I don't think that the Guru Granth Sahib is meant to be historicized that way. It is meant to be eternal and universal and can appeal to just about anyone.
But we hello. We
Anji,
but
Yeah.
that
there is a
that
lot of noise in the background. If you're not speaking, can you put yourself on mute? Thank you.
Anji, Ravindraji,
Anji.
the point you said is eternal Guru, and that is the very first line of Guru Granth Sahib. Ad Guru, Ad Guru Sach, Ad Sach Juga Sach hai bhi Sach, Nanak Hosi bhi Sach. And that is made very clear. It is an eternal Guru. It's not meant for six only, because we are the custodian of that. Nobody else wants to take over. Okay, and that's what we're preserving it. If other people want to join into that wisdom, this eternal wisdom is not for only for you and me. It's for everybody.
I
And
get
I
that, but that eternal wisdom resides in Gurbani is not just confined to these 1430 pages, right? There are other sort of scriptures that are also with the same message.
yes, fine, yeah.
So I mean, my point is that Gurbani is universal. It doesn't mean that it's confined to 1430 printed pages.
That's the
But
reason we have only 20 million and there's 6 billion people in the world.
No,
And there
no.
are other people have different beliefs.
So Gurbani,
Yeah.
if the guru is the sort of inner self, then Gurbani is obviously flowing everywhere.
So, VG, that means you want to say that Quran, Gita, all those things. I'm just not naming it, just taking a reference. All these are part of Gurbani. Like definitely they are sculptures. They are coming from some guru or at some point of time somebody wrote it with their beliefs and all that. So is that a Gurbani? Not a part of this one, but again, it exists as a Gurbani. That's what you're saying.
Well, what I'm saying is that a lot of the ideas of a singular God, of a God who is Nirakar, is
Uh-huh.
available to you in other texts as well. So is that not Gurbani? Because they're saying the same thing.
Uh,
Now, a lot of these texts that you have quoted have a lot of history and a lot of other stuff involved in it. But then there are texts. I mean, the old Upanishads, for example, do reflect very uncannily what Guru Granth Sahib is saying.
So, Virji,
Hanji.
I would like to add here that as you're saying, the Gur word here, all right, the Gur Bani, it does not need to be confined to something printed or
No,
or
that's precisely my point.
right. I mean, yes, they have the message, but what is the message? Message is connect to the Gur inside us.
Yeah, so that's precisely my point. But anyway, I was just
Can
trying
I,
to.
Virji, can I
Hanji,
intervene?
Hanji.
I mean, there are enough evidences within Gurban to say that if you know how to read it, how to comprehend, and then you accept it, you will be at the same stage. You know, Guru Nanak, when he wrote Patti, he has mentioned particularly, he says, Ivdi Yad Purkha Karta Ape Sacha Soi, Ina Akhra mein jo Gurmukh bujha. Means we have to read this from that angle. We are not actually reading it from that sort of. We are reading it
I
firstly because we were told.
Yeah.
Then, secondly, we are not moving on with the next stage. This text has a capacity to give us the inner sight of us.
I
That's
quite
what it has to
understand
do.
that. No, I get that. I mean, I'm not disputing that for a minute. I was just trying to bring up a point of a personal,
No, no, it was really nice. It is
yeah.
good because
No,
it
because
is
see,
challenging.
even when it comes to understanding the Guru Granth Sahib, let me give you an example. We've been collectively engaged in a discussion of Gurbani, and whether we know it or not, we've all learned from each other. Similarly, we talk to people who we feel have a better understanding of Gurbani, right? So, why is it so undesirable to actually get help like that from a personal, because we are all very allergic to the idea that, I mean, we don't have to call them gurus, we can call them spiritual mentors, coaches who could help you along, as we
Yeah,
are, right? I mean,
all the
we are
life.
doing it to one another.
You know, anyone, even Bullah's Bani, Bulleh Shah's Bani is not in Gurbani. But you can't deny those facts
Yeah.
written by him. So there are always some Satgurs around us. They will give us a direction. Then we have to walk ourselves.
Of
But
course.
sometimes we just take the direction that when we don't walk, then I think all these
That's what
things
we've
will
been
come.
doing for the past 4 years on Coach Gurbani, taking direction but not walking.
Yes,
So, so
I'm the first one who is doing it.
so I
I'm
mean,
not walking
I
myself.
feel no. I was just trying to throw up a question that I was
No,
hopefully,
it's right
yeah,
because those changes are not coming. The mind is very
yeah,
strong still,
yeah. So I've said
not
my
subdued.
piece. Does anybody? I mean, I guess want to do another round of observations before we close. Chetandeep, let me start with you.
नहीं Virji, I'll pass.
Ramandeep, final observations, final thoughts.
Sorry, I was speaking on mute. No, Vijay, I'm good for today. I think.
Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, you will
Thank you,
be able to
Vijay,
come more regularly.
for sure. I
Hanji.
totally
And
thoroughly enjoyed it.
Ranavirji,
Hanji, final observation is just single observation I just want to make because that is my problem or anybody else's problem. That we are trying to understand Gurbani. The purpose is to understand so we can internalize those things. But when we try to interpret, we use abstract terms like inner consciousness and outer consciousness. My God, we don't know what are those. and then meaning stay the same place. So I can take it further. So that is one of the problems I not only face, that okay, we are trying to understand Gurbani so we can apply it, but when we try to interpret, we use these terms, very heavy loaded terms we don't know, understand. Inner consciousness should be combined with outer consciousness. God knows
No,
what it means.
I think you and I maybe can have an off discussion. I don't agree with you. I think we know what to do, we know how to connect, and we know what we are going to connect with through Gurbani. So, but that's not the conversation today. Maybe at some point. This is a good, interesting conversation because a lot of people say, "Well, how do we do this? Do we even understand what these words mean?" Yes and no. I mean, we understand them enough to be able to work on them. But then words are words, they are never complete. So no matter what word you use, it's going to beg the same question. But thanks for bringing that up. I'm going to make a note of this to actually make it a subject of some discussion because that's a very interesting point and an important one at that.
And hang
Haji,
me on the wall.
Haji,
No,
Kulwant Kaur Ji.
And I think I'm okay.
Acha ji, theek hai ji. Gurjeet Singh ji, any last 5 second
Hanjivir
thought?
ji, yeah, it's we only have to internalize three things, which as Kabir ji has said, which we normally have said so many manchit buddhi. So the only English translations I'm getting is outer consciousness, inner consciousness. So only we need to remember three. The Gurmani always goes in these three. Whichever Shabad you pick, it runs in these three. So if we get more insight into this, the interpretation will become easy for us.
ठीक है वीर जी. Thank you very much. Very interesting. I love the conversation. I get a lot out of it. And we'll see you all next week, ji. वाहिगुरू जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरू जी की फतेह.